We're in Macari's in Charing Cross Road with Anthony Macari. Welcome to Strung Up and Loaded. Could you tell us a bit about the history behind the company, the family and the shop?
If you want to know the history of Macari's, you've got to go right back to my grandfather, who had this tremendous touring show called Macari and his Dutch Serenaders, big accordion band in the 30s. And they toured all over the country. And my dad and my uncle, who eventually started the shop, they were in the show. Both great musicians, but when variety went sour in the 50s and cinema started coming along, well, he didn't give up straight away. The first thing he did, he bought a big circus tent from Billy Smart, and they went out touring in this tent. And I think that's probably when he lost all his money, trying to gig in this tent. And then my uncle got a job teaching and eventually becoming the manager of Vox in Charing Cross Road. That was Tom Jennings's shop. My dad worked for Boozy and Hawkes for a while, but that was their sort of into the musical instrument industry, really. That started in '56. By '62, they had a shop of their own, first music shop in Denmark Street, which everyone calls Tin Pan Alley. And it went on and on from there. We've had 9 different shops now in the West End.
I see you have a new store in Denmark Street. A lot of fantastic Gibson guitars there. Overall, between the stores, what kind of numbers do you do on guitar sales?
Well, we sell a lot of guitars. I suppose there's always roughly 1,000 guitars in stock in between the 2 shops, and you're going to sell between 1 and 10 guitars every day. And over the year, that can turn into a lot of guitars. So we could sell a couple of thousand, maybe 2,500 guitars a year. But of course, we don't just sell guitars. I think one of the reasons that Macari's is still here when a lot of shops have come and gone is that we've been quite chameleon-like. It doesn't seem like that long ago we had a window full of saxophones or a window full of accordions, or so it's been a long time coming. But being the main Gibson dealer is great, but it isn't what we've always done.
Interestingly enough, on my 14th birthday, my mum and dad took me down to this very store and bought me my first solar combo.
Really?
And the last time we met, you showed me the original, or one of those original 70s combos, right round the corner here. So that was really my introduction to being able to play electric guitar, which I'm not sure whether that was a good thing or a bad thing from my parents' point of view, but it set me on the path of becoming a professional guitarist. And of course, the range of pedals. I think I also bought a colour sound pedal from you as well. I think it was a purple flange pedal. But there is a real interesting story as well, I believe, behind the first tone bender pedal.
Well, the tone bender is really an amazing sort of heritage thing that I've picked up, because my dad and my uncle had a company called Solar Sound. And they made really the first British fuzz pedals, or certainly brought them to the public, which, I think is an incredibly important thing. Those distortion sounds, they really did change music, and music changed how people thought. It must have been amazing coming in those days and hearing fuzz for the first time. But yeah, I was demoing a tone bender, one of our recent ones, about a year and a half ago, and a guy just walked past me and he just said, "Oh, I've got one of those." And I said, "Oh, terrific, great, good stuff." Yeah. And he said, "Yeah, I've had it a long time." And I said, "Yeah, okay, I'm trying to sell something here." And he said, "I won it in a competition." And I said, "You won it in a competition? I haven't done a competition." He said, yeah, it was 1965, at which point I've nearly fallen off my chair, because 6 of the first 12 made were given away in a competition and beat instrumental. And I said, "I bet you wish you still had it." He said, "Yeah, I've still got it." And so he brought it in, and I ended up getting it from him. I wouldn't let him leave the shop without selling it to me. I gave him a lovely, lovely Les Paul for it. I've got it right here. So yeah, this is the Mark I tone bender, an original. So very early one. It's going to be just like the one Steve Winwood used on Keep On Running. and the one in the picture with McCartney trying it with his bass, and it's got a very specific tone, a lot of people would say it doesn't sound that good. You know, fuzz got a lot better with the next model, but it's just lovely to have the original in my hand and a little bit of history that would have originally come from this shop. My cousin Rosita would have been the one who put this lettering on in Letraset and covered it in clear nail varnish. And I spoke to her about it. She said, "Yeah, we only did a few with that funny Letraset." And so, yeah, she remembered it clearly, right back from '65.
And didn't Jeff Beck and Pete Townsend
play
that pedal?
Early users, Jeff Beck had one. Pete Townsend famously had one that he used on early Who stuff, and that allegedly is the pedal that went to Mick Ronson and that he used on all the Bowie stuff. So this is very much sort of that classic Les Paul tone bender.
The Ziggy Stardust sound.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And what a sound.
Yeah.
What a sound. Oh,
and
it even smells good.
And this will be the up-to-date.
Oh, that's a Mark II. So this is a recreation, if you like, of the pedal we made in '65, '66. The Mark II famously used by Jimmy Page on Led Zeppelin 1. The way he described it was, it made the guitar sound very rude. I think that was a great quote.